You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the #1 horse podcast in the world. Here is your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
I'm Glenn the Geek.
And I am Allison Renborg, coming to you from the Equine Network booth at Equine Affaire in Ohio. And you are listening to Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for Sunday, April the 16th, for episode 3162.
Good morning, Horse World. Well, we're back on our last day of coverage here at Equine Affaire. I am here, but I do sound funny because I'm still sick.
He's here, but he's not here.
Yeah. I did get about 16 hours of sleep yesterday at the hotel, so that helped.
That is good.
But we are here, and we're going to do a bunch more interviews for you today. We have some really fun ones lined up that I think you're going to enjoy. And also, we're in a few short minutes, we're going to pick a saddle winner for the Wintec saddle drawing.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited about that, too. So we'll be doing that in a short period of time. Any news from yesterday? Everything goes smoothly? It's all good?
Everything went super smoothly. It was a beautiful day. Great crowds. It was packed.
Yesterday.
Yes. Such a good day. And Fantasia went off without a hitch last night, which we are very, very happy about. So great show.
Yay, good.
Yeah.
The crowds yesterday and they were buying stuff. I saw a lot of bags walking around yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's buying something.
Yeah, so today's the final day. It runs till what time today?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock today.
Yeah.
And then do you have to take all this down in one day?
Well, yeah. Yep. At 5 o'clock, everybody starts tearing down, and the staff has to go around and start tearing down all our stuff. And we go till pretty late in the evening, and then when we're done, we get to have pizza. So.
And then do you head home tomorrow?
Yes, I'm going to drive home tomorrow. So hopefully I get to sleep in the morning and then hit the road.
And then another semi-annual Equine Affaire is done. Then we start looking forward to Massachusetts.
Yeah, and then as soon as I get back in the office, it's a little bit of wrap-up for Ohio, and then we start the cycle all over again.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's so much planning that goes into events like this.
So much. And, there are only 6 of us in the office. I think I've said that before, that work full-time, and we all wear a lot of different hats at the same time, and it's I wouldn't say we're a well-oiled machine, but like everything gets done, as we discussed before this event, you know, when I kind of shared with you how crazy it gets.
Actually, I've been in the office a little bit back there with you guys, and it's not as crazy as I thought it would have been. It's pretty laid back, and everything's just running. Yep,
and a happy thing is this year we have a Keurig, a brand new Keurig in the show office, and we have K-Cups, so we're all like super happy all the time because we have all the coffee.
Well, let's do it. So thanks to Wintec for providing a saddle to give away. And we gave one away at Christmas time, and we're going to give one away here shortly. Allison's going to pick a number. So we had 440 entries. And this is a unique thing because you get a certificate and you get to pick any of the Wintec saddles you want.
That is so cool.
Any color, any style, any size, whatever you want. And then they'll ship it out. I think the winner last year it was shipped out from Australia. So
nice.
So that is what we're going to do right now. So I will have you pick a number between 1 and 440.
Oh boy, I've been looking forward to this all weekend. We're going to go with 317. 317.
All right, and the winner is, drumroll. The winner is Rebecca Hodgetts. So congratulations, Rebecca. You are the winner. I will drop you an email, and we'll get everything set up so that she can take her saddle home.
Yay! Congratulations!
And we need pictures. The person who won at Christmas did provide us pictures of the saddle being in use, so we need pictures. We want to see pictures of this saddle being in use. So
pictures or it didn't happen.
And thank you to Wintec for sponsoring that. Wintec's been a great sponsor of ours for years. Jamie rides in Wintex. Jennifer rides in Wintex. So, nice. I would ride in Wintex if I rode, but I don't. So it's really nice to have Wintec be so supportive over the years. So thank you to them. Wintec-saddles.com.
Yay, Wintec.
You want to get started with our big lineup of people today?
Let's get started.
All right. First up, we have Trudy Midas of
Espana Silk.
Espana Silk.
Yes.
I never can say that right.
I had to learn. learn.
And she literally is right across from us this whole time.
Yep, we've been waving at her.
So we're going to get her over here, and we're going to say hi to her. And then we have some clinicians coming up.
Yep.
We have a very fun interview with a pony clubber coming up.
Yes.
That I did yesterday. And also, we started the first episode of this show with an auditor. Who was the one that took us out to dinner. Well, her co-conspirator is going to be the last guest. So we're starting with an auditor, and we're ending with an auditor. So we have a lot planned for you today. Hang on.
All right. Well, hi, Trudy. Thanks for coming to the booth.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. It's always great to see you.
Yay. We've been sitting here looking at your beautiful booth right across the row here in the Bricker the whole time, and every time I saw you, I got excited. So I'm just so glad to see you.
You're so sweet. You know, it is a great location here. Where my booth is for everyone to find me, and for me to even see all the activity with you guys interviewing that.
Yeah.
It made me excited to get my chance over here too.
Yeah. So you are here. You have a booth. You sponsor a lot of people, a lot of our performers, but then you also are here as the title sponsor of the International Liberty Horse Association competition. So I was hoping you could tell us, how did the competition go this weekend?
You know, the competition was extra special this year because they did something they've never done before, and that was they had couples. They had pairs compete. Typically that is done individually for just individuals that go out and do the compulsory and that freestyle. They had pairs do it, and it was fabulous. It was exciting, and it was new. And you know, there's always a special glamour to new beginnings, and this was a new beginning for the ILHA, and the competition
So
was a big
pairs
hit.
people or pairs horses?
Pairs people, and they could have pair horses too.
Okay.
Wow.
So you could have even 3 horses. So there were 2 people, and they paired, and when they won, they were winning together. It was 2 winners, 2 champions, 2
that's
reserve
cool.
champions, and the other ones, you know, everyone won. There were placings for everybody, but there was the champion and the reserve champion and the other placers.
Oh, that's really cool.
It was
awesome.
really cool. And the audience really appreciated too. It was a lot of excitement, a lot of fun, a lot of different things you can do, seeing the pairs with more to even watch and be impressed with, and know that can be done. You know, it's possible, you know.
Do you know how much time they had to prepare beforehand? Like, did they get assigned their pairings, you know, a couple weeks or months in advance?
You know,
or-
and I don't know if it was a couple months. Some of it might have been weeks. Maybe some were months, because they were aware of this, that this was the new format of it.
Got it.
For a while, we had the ILHA competition at the Massachusetts Equine Affair, was another great success, and that was in November. So when this format came, it was after that. So they've had since
November.
the new year. Yeah,
to
yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
I wonder, that's got to be so fun. You know, you watch Liberty with just one person and one horse or 2 horses, and you go, man, that's so cool. But then to see pairs doing it and doing, I assume, choreographed movements together, that's got to be mind-blowing.
It really is. And it's mesmerizing, actually. And to see the in syncness, not just for the individuals, but those horses, it really does kind of blow my mind away that it can be done. I know it's done because we're seeing it, but some of them, you know, the naturalness and just the abilities that they have with talent to make that happen, because they've only had a number of months, no matter what. If it was weeks or months, they made this very successful. Each of them made it look simple. I mean, simple, when we know very well anybody, no matter even if it's a trained eye, a novice person or trained, that was not simple. None of them had simple patterns. Oh, it was incredible. You'll have to go back and look at some of the feed and the videos that are being posted on it.
Yes.
You will be amazed yourself at just the originality and the complicated moves they're doing that make it just, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And I'm not speechless that often, but that they all have made me a bit at a loss for words to express how awesome it was.
And that is hard to imagine, because, Trudy, you're a great talker.
I know.
You're a wonderful talker. So to think of you speechless is something else. So, Glenn, are you interested in doing Liberty with Scooter?
We're trying to teach Scooter to paint.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because I think the listeners would love to buy paintings for Scooter at Christmas time for my pony.
Yeah.
They
He's
would.
a little Hackney pony, and he's very mouthy anyway. You know, he loves doing stuff with his lips, so we're trying to teach him to paint with his lips.
Liberty
Oh, my
painting.
goodness.
But pretty much he just gets to paint everywhere. You know, it's just...
Oh, but he could do great autographs as well. I mean, think of that little
Yeah.
paw print or something.
Yep.
That would be great.
I mean, it could be a moneymaker.
Is that liberty? Is that considered liberty?
I don't know. I was just coming up with a new genre for you.
Yeah.
This seemed like a good one. So before we got started, you were talking about all the great groups that you are friendly with and that you sponsor. So I was hoping you could kind of give us that rundown because there are some audience favorites.
Yes, yeah, there was, and we had a real special treat because we had a visit from one of my celebrity sponsored folks, and that was Luke Gingrich. He's been in Fantasia a number of years as well, and he's an Ohio favorite in many ways too. And so it was a beautiful visit from Luke that came in and did some autographs and signing, and it was wonderful to see him. And he had a great lineup of people that wanted to meet and greet him. But yes, we have the Pegasus riders, the Maddie and Libby, always fan favorites as well. The youth riders we sponsor, and Dusty Crane, she's amazing. She does the Roman riding with a team of horses. It's just fabulous. I mean, she's what fabulosity is all about.
She really
that girl
is.
is bling bling, is amazing. All with the biggest smile and that can light up a room. Yeah. And we've got the Knights of Iceland. I, in particular, have a close sponsorship with two of the girls that ride, but the whole team, when they come together as a team, it's a beautiful blend of the folks in Iceland that come here to be with the American team. And it's such a beautiful thing to see that family together. And they really put on a dynamite act.
They do.
They do. Amazing. The spirit, the energy, just talk about literally lighting that arena up in fire, because they do. They're all superstars.
They
and
are.
so I'm so honored to be a part of the entire Knights of Iceland. And the resident riding are two of the girls, Carrie Brandt and Lala Bush, that I do a separate sponsorship for their resident riding, which is an incredible program. So that's another special to my heart.
Definitely.
A dynamic duo I sponsor. They're the Whispering Pines, incredible group of horses, not to mention the two husband and wife golden couple.
That's the Percherons, right?
Yes. I do some, they have loved my product for themselves. My product as Espana Silk Natural Products, and it is a fan favorite for humans to use as well as for horses and dogs. So they're big on using for themselves. And also it's...
Do you send the Percheron people Whispering Pines? Do you send it by the 5-gallon bucket, or what do you do?
A lot of them like the 10-gallon.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We've got all sizes, Glenn.
They would have to.
I've got all sizes. But my products are so multi-purpose. So there's a lot they can do with just cleaning their tack. They have a lot of tack. So whether it be giving some shine to their bling bling areas or on the saddles, things like that. So my products are just so multi-purpose for a lot of their use for their wagon too.
And then the harness. Oh my God! There's 10 miles of harness.
Yeah,
And I feel like they had bells on during Fantasia this time. So
they were
They have
phenomenal.
everything.
Yeah, Kelly and Sam are just an incredible couple, and just so talented in so many ways, and the sweetest people. Oh my goodness, I just
so
love them.
kind
Yes,
and so generous.
They're lovely.
Yeah, we love them.
They were doing where you could drive a Percheron this
Yes.
weekend. You could actually sign up and get
Yes.
to drive one, which was pretty cool.
It's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
I wish I could do it.
I'm a carriage driver, so I like all that stuff.
I
Yeah.
did do it.
Did you do it?
I
You
did.
did? Are
Yeah,
there
how can I
pictures?
say no to
You didn't
Kelly?
wreck, right? You're okay. You're still in one piece.
Yeah, and
today.
I even had a broken arm. I am here with a broken arm,
right.
and that wasn't going to stop me.
So
I still
did they have
did
you
it.
drive one or two?
I just did the one. The two was pretty active and had a long list of people on it. I was just happy to get on the one. I just wanted to do it, and I got
Fun
to trot.
though, isn't it?
I got to trot. I got to take him trotting some. So I was a little bit in a slice of heaven there in the arena. Yeah, for me.
Years ago, we did the World Percheron Congress, and my co-host and I were in the celebrity drive-off, and they had us driving pairs of Percherons in the big beer wagon, and we had to do a figure eight and stuff, and oh my God, I thought I was going to die. She was great because she's a competitive carriage driver and had driven multiples before.
Yes.
I had not driven pairs before, so I think both horses were going different directions, and
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
but it's fun.
Yeah, it really is. And I have driven on wagons. I just have not driven a horse on the ground.
Yeah.
That was a different experience, actually. I've done it, sitting in a wagon,
Yeah.
in a cart.
Well, good.
Oh, I'm so glad you got to do that.
I am too.
I hope
really
there are
am.
pictures.
Oh yeah, I do. I
those are
have
some big
come.
butts you're looking at right there. There's some big butts. And the little fell ponies too. Did you get to see the fell ponies over there?
I didn't spend any time with him, but I did get to see it. Oh,
they're
adorable.
so cute.
Yeah,
Oh my
they're,
gosh.
they're too adorable.
They're like little mini percherons, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot to see.
Yeah.
There's a lot to see here. Yeah.
So much to see here. So how can people learn more about your products and you? Because you're such a cool person.
Folks can always go to our website, espaniaproducts.com. We do have an Instagram page and a Facebook page as well. A lot of folks, find us whether we're at small shows, big shows. There's always someone of a corporate rep that is sharing Espana's info and doing some demos with it. A lot of times you'll see shows or even clinics or barns. You'll find Espana pretty much anywhere you go in a barn, So if you see the Espana name, anyone using it will love to tell you how much. Mostly they'll just say, you're going to love the smell, and you're going to love the results. So you're going to find us just about anywhere. But yes, of course, online and social media, things like that, you can always be sure to find somebody to talk to about Espana Silk.
Yeah, well, and everyone you sponsor is so popular that they do a great job disseminating the word about your products, too. That's how I first learned about you, was through Luke Gingrich. So...
I'm very proud as the creator and owner of, I feel like I'm just a mom to a lot of people, and I take great pride with that title. It's an honor. And when I come to events that are these big events, I mean, it doesn't get much. How can it get any better for a mom to be with a family, that surrounds you with so much love? And my heart just overwhelms and gets overflowing with just happiness and love. And, I get before I know it, little liquid love coming down my cheeks because they just make me just amazing with everybody. And it truly is a blessing. But it's been a labor of love to do what I do to create a product that is loved by so many. And it's been a great resume for me, for the folks that use it. Wanting the best or using the best.
What's the website again, Trudy?
EspanaProducts.com.
Well, I am super happy to be here with Carl, a fellow Southerner. We've got
ma'am.
Carl Bledsoe with us here from Talkin' Rock, Georgia.
Talking Rock, Georgia.
Talking Rock, Georgia.
Beautiful Pickens County, the marble capital of Georgia.
Really?
The
Yeah,
stone
there
marble?
is marble from the local marble mine in the White House and the Washington Monument. And some of it is pink. It came out of the ground pink.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Who knew?
You learn something new every day.
Absolutely.
Oh, gosh, the
There's more
accent's
than
coming
just
out.
peaches in Georgia
Yep,
we're learning
there
today.
is. There is.
All right, so Carl, you're all about gaited horses.
Yes, ma'am.
So one of the clinics that you presented here this weekend was called Is Your Horse Your Partner or Your Prisoner? And
Yes,
Glenn
ma'am.
and I both kind of lit up when we heard that.
Right.
So what do you mean by that?
Well, most of the people that I deal with ride trail horses.
Yep.
In a 20-mile trip on a horse that's not conditioned can be taxing. A horse that's ridden incorrectly, and a lot of the folks that ride with me, I'm not trying to cast any reflection, but they've never been in an official lesson program. They know how to sit on the horse and use the equipment to keep themselves in the middle of the horse's back, but not really ride effectively, ride balanced to help the horse do his job.
Yes.
And that can become a very physical strain for the horse, and then over time become a mental strain for the horse, because the horse's nature is to take care of himself. So what happens in my world is people start having behavior problems with their horses because they become a little bit painful from that type of use. The horses get a little out of control, and then more times than not, the local horse person, authority, says, well, you just need a little bit more bit or a little bit more of this or a little bit more of the other, which makes the problem worse.
Yeah.
Most times.
Is it amplified with gaited horses, or
It is, because there's a lot of conflicting information available via the internet about the gaited horses, the locomotion. Older people, retired people get them because they don't trot, so you don't have to post.
First horse I ever rode was a Tennessee Walker.
It's a smoother ride,
Yeah.
but there is a difference in smooth and correct.
Yes.
They can be smooth to ride and not be using their body correctly.
Yes.
And it absolutely wreaks havoc on their top line. And the horse's back is not designed
I
to
was going
carry
to
a
ask
load.
you that. Yeah. Is it? Do you have more problems with gated horses with back issues than non-gated?
I see more myself, but I'm a gated guy.
Right.
I take a lot of other different breeds, but most of the time in my part of the country, if people start having these problems, they bring the horse to me because I'm one of the few people that will spend the time it takes to, instead of just taking the horse out there and saying, okay, boy, you got to just listen to mom and dad no matter what. You know, the people might have to stay with me for a little while where I can identify exactly what's making this happen because my
Isn't the
business,
problem usually the rider, though?
anytime you're having a problem with your horse and you don't like what your horse is doing, you are the one that has to change.
Amen.
But that's tough to tell a client, isn't
no,
it?
sir, it's not. And I've made some people mad.
Yeah. Because they don't want to hear that.
Because you can't imagine that I just say what I think.
No, I can't imagine that at
No.
all. No.
So sometimes it just comes out the way that
Carl's
it hits my
wife sitting
brain.
here cracking up.
and it just comes out of my mouth. And I never really mean anything by it.
Right.
But it's the truth.
It is the truth. And coming from the world where I came from years ago, I did the show thing. And that's a whole beast in and of itself. And we won't go down that road today. But since Tammy and I have started doing what we're doing now, our catchphrase is what's in it for the horse. So if what you're doing does not benefit your horse some way, I know you want to use him to ride down the trail,
yeah.
but help him ride you down the trail. Help
Yeah.
him strengthen himself. It's a 50-50. If you want him to take care of you on his 50%, then you do your 50%. And that's kind of what we do. So I'm talking about, or is your horse your partner, your prisoner? And what I'm trying to do when everybody walks out of my clinic here or at home, I try to take the responsibility and put it right on the shoulders of the person.
Yeah.
It is your job to know, just like your child. You know, her kids were little. She could tell by the cry that they had, whether it was hunger or a wet diaper or a temper thing. You need to know kind of that much about your horse based on their expression. It doesn't take a real genius person to do it. You just have to spend the time
Yeah.
and have that partnership with your animal. And that's kind of what we're trying to promote. So
Well, and that applies to every horse, everywhere. It doesn't matter about gait.
It does.
That's multidisciplinary.
It absolutely does. But it is prevalent in the gated world because most of the people that ride gated horses are either retired or close to retirement age. They may have ridden horses when they were young. The retired folks, they worked in corporate America or something like that, and they got to this point in their life and want a trail ride, and they're most of them are very intelligent. So, hey, I know how to ride a horse. How hard can it be? So they just go buy a horse, and then they investigate via the internet what the best equipment is.
Well, you can't put anything on the internet that isn't true.
That's exactly right. And then lo and behold, they'll come to me 6 months later. This horse is trying to kill me. What's he doing? Well, I can't control him. They said this kind of bit here will control him, and I'm like, you've been sold a bit that's not necessarily the only bit that's going to work is a bit of knowledge, you know.
Right.
So we have to have that conversation. And then I just look at the folks and I'll say, well, tell you what, we're going skydiving tomorrow. Y'all want to just come borrow one of my parachutes and we'll go skydiving tomorrow? Well, no, I wouldn't jump out of a plane without getting a little bit of education. I'm like, there you go. This horse can kill you just about as quick.
Yeah.
It's interesting, too. I live in Ocala, Florida, and there's a lot of trail riding. We have a lot of big forests, and 80% of the horses out there are gated.
Yes, sir, they are. I have been to Florida 3 times this year. I've been to Williston.
Yeah,
Twice.
Yeah,
And then
you've been to
Brooksville.
Gothey Forest.
No, I have not.
That's right by Williston. That's the big.
I know where it is,
yeah.
and we're planning to ride. I've done clinics down there, and those clinics in Florida fill up.
Yeah. Well, we came across a Black Panther while riding the other day
No
in the
kidding.
Gothey Forest.
Well,
so.
Tammy's going to want to go trail riding now. You just got me into having to take her trail riding in Florida now. See that expression on her face?
She looks
Cool.
thrilled.
Yeah,
really
She's
thrilled.
all about those. She's we found this thing in North Carolina, Concord, North Carolina, out from Charlotte, that is a big cat sanctuary.
Ooh.
Oh,
And
yeah.
sometimes they'll take people up there and you can do a little apprenticeship for a week and interact with them.
Ooh.
She's been saying she's going to do that.
Oh,
so.
that'd be fun.
You totally should.
So,
and then
but
come
see,
on the
they-
show.
Yeah, well, she could do that and get by with it because the cats love her.
Okay.
They don't necessarily. I think I put off too much energy, or I'm too loud, maybe.
I don't know about that.
Something, but
I don't understand that at all.
but that's our message in its accountability with us, and what I just want to get people to stop and think a little bit. Am I doing all I can for my horse with the expectation I have of him?
Yeah.
And that is exactly what we're trying to do. And just, there's information out there, and then there's good information out there. And I want to get the people to look for the good information. If you're going to buy a horse and you're going to use him on the trail, understand just a little bit of anatomy where you can ask the right questions.
Yeah.
Understand a little bit of how the anatomy and the psychology of the horse work together when he's doing a job. Mm-hmm. Then you can be safe and your horse can be healthy. And that's kind of what we try to do. And that's across the board, even when we're gait training, not necessarily just for the trail riders, but when we're trying to help people correct the gait. It's all about the horse's well-being and him using his body and his mind correctly. It's balance is what it is. So
That's
Very
fantastic.
good. Well,
So
Carl,
that's-
is there a website where we can find you?
Carl Bledsoe Horsemanship is
All right.
my website. It's just Gait, GAIT, on Facebook.
Great.
And then I have a lot of friends on my personal page, Carl Bledsoe. I do everything horse. If it's horse, has anything to do with the horse, I'm there.
So did you marry this, Tammy? You met the horse thing, or were you a horse person before? No. So you're what we consider a horse wife. I'm a horse husband. You're the horse wife. Yeah. You married into it.
Well, she's
did you
the
realize
brains.
how crazy he was going to be later on in life? No.
She's the brains behind everything. I just do the horses. So
That's true. You do. You need your business
yes.
person, because a lot of horse people aren't good business people. So they don't go together necessarily.
yeah, but she's got a really good filter, and it's good that she has the personality that she does, because she can really look at situations and really discern.
When there's an
Absolutely.
email, an over-the-edge email that needs to be written, my wife writes it. I
Oh,
don't write it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And she has had to walk out to me in a clinic setting at home and say, "Okay, Carl, I'm over here to turn your volume down just a little bit with this one person, because you're not meaning to, but you're stepping on them just a
Yeah.
little bit." And nobody ever means to do that, but I want people to be as passionate about their relationship with their horse as I am, and I get
Yeah.
really animated with it sometimes.
I can see that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, thanks, Carl.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Glad you guys had me over.
Well, that was fun.
I was a
Good old
great
Georgia boy.
Yeah, I love it. I loved hearing my native accent.
So next up, we have Ashley and Emily of the United Horse Coalition. Well, it's fun because I get to meet so many new people when I come to trade shows and expos and horse shows. And I have Ashley and Emily here. So let's start with Ashley. Where are you guys from?
Yeah, I'm here with the American Horse Council, and I'm actually here promoting one of their programs called the United Horse Coalition.
We're excited because the American Horse Council is going to start doing an episode a month of this show beginning in May, I believe.
That's correct.
Yeah. So tell us about the Horse Coalition.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're here promoting a few of our initiatives this week, and the most important one being our United Horse Coalition Equine Resource Database. And what this is we put together a national database of what we call safety net programs. So these are things like hay and feed assistance, veterinary assistance, castration assistance, anything that you can think of that would help an owner who has fallen on hard times.
How do you qualify for the programs?
So there is no qualification. What it is a database. So say somebody is in Colorado and they are looking for resources in their area. They go to the website, put in the state they're from and what they're looking for. So, say they need some hay temporarily, put in that resource, and we will show them any of those types of programs that are available in their area.
Oh, that's cool, because that is hard to find that
Yeah.
stuff sometimes.
It's all free. It's all open to the public.
I wanted to focus on something that you guys mentioned earlier. Emily mentioned this. One of the programs that you have that involves divorce, which is something that obviously a lot of our listeners right now have dealt with or are dealing with right now.
Yes. So a way we hook people into the conversation is we say, this database is open to anyone going through any kind of difficulty And for a lot of people, they think job loss, they think temporary time in the hospital, medical bills, that kind of issue. But something we talk about too is things like divorce. And, I always joke I'm going to be the old divorced horse lady wearing my turquoise jewelry and my long gray ponytail.
I
And
can picture it.
It's kind of inevitable. But we were
You
giving
can buy
that
that
spiel.
here, by the way.
Yes,
Yes,
I was actually talking to Kelsey, one of our program managers. We're eyeing this turquoise sweatshirt, and I kind of thought, that's the beginning. I think once that sweatshirt comes into my life.
Oh yeah, the more bling, the older you get.
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So we were having this conversation, and we're kind of handing out our flyers at the corner of the booth, and I start mentioning the issue with divorce and how that can put people in a hard spot, and these women are just kind of nodding and smiling and nodding and smiling. And one of them just kind of points to her shirt and kind of keeps pointing, and I'm oblivious, and Ashley's oblivious, and she's like pointing, and I look down, and it just says, "Congratulations on your divorce," and we realized it's like a bachelorette party, except they're all wearing the same shirts and celebrating one woman's divorce for the weekend.
You just happen to run into them.
Yes. So if you're out there at Equine Affaire this weekend, congratulations. We hope you're really enjoying yourselves.
Well, we do see a lot of issues, though, with divorce. Because sometimes the one disappears or whatever happens, and if it's the horse person that disappears, then you have the spouse that's left with the horse, doesn't know what to do with it, and then it usually ends up in the wrong hands. So there's a lot of situations, though, with divorce that are not good.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And part of what we're trying to do is make sure that every horse owner, whether they've acquired it through a divorce or they've fallen on hard times, that they have access to responsible choices and responsible ways to rehome that horse.
Is there an education component to what you guys do?
There is. We have a lot of free educational materials on our website. Again, we want people to take advantage of that.
So, Ashley, I used to be an estate planning guy for years for farmers. And it was mostly dairy farmers, but horse people and large farms. And they never had one. I mean, it was unbelievable, the millions of dollars of property,
Yes.
and they didn't have any plan whatsoever. So by the way, kids never get along in that situation after you die. They will be fighting over it for the next 10 years in court, and half of it's going to be gone.
Yep.
Having that spelled out in paper clearly is just incredibly vital.
Even then, the kids will fight, but at least there's a legal document backing you up.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. It's spelled out right
You can
there,
find a
black and
bigger
white.
grown-up to go
Yeah.
through what's written
Yeah,
out.
good luck in a family when that happens.
Yeah, we're just always trying to get people to think, estate planning aside, what is going to happen to your horse if something happens to you, whether you lose your job, whether you pass away, and estate planning is just a huge component of that.
We did it. We re-upped ours during COVID and did the whole thing. And it is hard, though, with horse people because we don't know who we want to leave our horses to. And then when you don't know what you want to do, you don't do anything.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. You would be shocked how many people have not thought about that one question.
But you need to. And it needs to be in your will or your trust or whatever you're doing. It needs to be in there. Like ours specified exact. And oh, yes, we did talk to the people before. That's another good thing to do is the person that's going to inherit your 25
Let them
horses
know.
should
Yes,
probably know
do
about
not
it.
surprise them.
Yeah, that's right.
And we say, too, it can start simple. You don't have to start at the lawyer part. That can seem really intimidating. I'm a really bad person, and my husband and I have been talking about a will for a long time. We haven't done it yet, but I have already notified people that said, when I get hit by a bus tomorrow, Dave's calling you about these
Likewise,
horses. Yeah, the
likewise.
husband's not going to be responsible. Ashley's going to be responsible for my horses. So
I agree.
Identifying your who.
Yeah. And it's hard. I know it's hard, everybody. I really do know it's hard. But you got to do it. I mean, or something will happen that you don't want to happen. And I can't tell. My office, when I was doing estate planning, you're going to love this, because everybody knows this place, was in New Holland, Pennsylvania, in the corner of the parking lot of the New Holland Sales Stables.
perfect. Yeah.
Where they sell all the horses to go for meat in this country. And those trucks would roll out of there either north or south.
Yep.
And I guarantee a lot of those horses ended up there just because of what we just talked
Yes.
about.
Yep. And that's what we're trying to help with.
My lifetime pony, driving pony, I bought at that sales stable for $90. At that sales stable, I had that pony till she was 42.
We're suckers
Drove
for
her till
ponies.
she was 35. So, I know about that, what you're talking about, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It is.
But you need to just take time to do it. And yeah, it might cost you a couple $100, but
It's always easier to do all of this work in advance than have that emergency sprung on you, and you're in the heat of the moment. It's emotional, and just having that done ahead of time is going to make your life a lot easier.
It's even harder for people like my wife and I who don't have kids, because then it's deciding who gets everything, and you
Yes.
don't. I mean, who do you give it to, right? It's very difficult. I get why people have trouble with this, but we just finally broke down and did it. So I'm glad you guys are out there doing the work you're doing. What's the website again?
UnitedHorseCoalition.org.
Somebody needed to do this, and I'm glad you're stepping up to get it done.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So I had a fun chat. You weren't here the other day
No.
with Jason and Bronwyn Irwin, who we've had on the show before.
And I love them.
Oh,
They're
they're-
amazing.
You know, we had this lovely conversation, and we were actually talking about how to run a horse business. How do they make money? You know, how do you keep it going? And everybody always wonders with the professional horse people how they do that. So we had that conversation, but then after, we ended up talking for almost 40 minutes after, just chatting. I love those two.
They're a great couple. And, I interviewed Bronwyn over at my video booth earlier in the weekend, and Jason came with her, and we were chatting. And it turns out even when they were dating, they were coming up with business ideas together. And then it continued through their marriage. And they were talking about how they feel like it's really central to having a good marriage if you guys can work on a business together. And I just thought that was so cool. So, I mean, they're just quality all the way
They
through.
are. I think you're going to enjoy this interview. Well, we have Jason and Bronwyn Irwin, who we had on the show not too long ago, right?
Yep, not too long ago at all.
And I'm so glad to see you in person. It's good to meet you. And you guys are out of Canada.
That's correct, Ontario, Canada.
Are there a lot of horse people left in Ontario, or is it like down here where there's houses being built everywhere?
Oh, yeah. There are still a lot of horse lovers in Canada. The one thing I think that has changed is a lot of boarding barns are now up and running. So maybe not as many small horse properties, but a lot more horses being boarded. So a lot more community style, I think.
Well, that's
with
good,
horse
actually.
ownership.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Because I wonder, too, people think it's this great joy to bring their horses home. We have this conversation all the time, yet you have nobody to ride with. Now you're alone, right? Where you were with people before.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very true. I think a lot of times the dream of having them at your place is great, but then in reality, if you do all the work yourself.
Yep.
And where the boarding barn, you kind of go out, hang with friends.
You want to come to Equine
catch
Affair,
up.
and all of a sudden it's a hassle, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly,
exactly.
for sure.
So do you guys have trusted people to take care of your horses at home every time you go somewhere?
Well, they're all my family, so they better be doing the job.
We
So
hope
they're
we
not
trust
trusted
them.
then.
I'm going to be mad if I go home and find out they're not.
All right, we have untrustworthy people taking care of your barn. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the business side. You know, you've seen them. You've had your students and people you're training horses for, and every teenage girl in the world thinks they can, just ride horses and make money and make a living doing it. And as you and I know, that's a small minority of the people that come up that actually can make money winning at horse shows and doing that. It happens. You can do it, but you guys run your business a little bit differently. Tell me about how you run it.
Well, ours is a little bit of a cross section, actually. So Bronwyn and I have Jason and Bronwyn Irwin horsemanship, and then that's mostly clinics. But there's also product sales, training materials, training videos, all those types of things. And then also we're part of our family business, North Star Livestock, where we raise quarter horses. So we have 20-some mares, and we train some outside horses as well. So really it's spread over quite a broad part of the horse industry, really.
Clinics, merchandising, breeding, you probably train horses still for people?
Yeah, we train horses for people. We supply horses the odd time for commercials and a little bit of movie things.
Oh, that's kind of fun. Do I know any of them?
Well, there was one came out late last fall. It was cool. It was for Toyota Sequoia, and they have a horse rearing on a mountaintop.
Oh, I know that one.
Okay,
That's
that's
my
Bronwyn's horse,
Yeah.
and so it was.
How'd your horse feel about the mountaintop?
Well, honestly, that's where the trust in your horsemanship pays off. Because I took her up there. She wasn't
This
so
was not, for those that
concerned.
haven't seen it, describe the location.
Yeah, so we're in Ontario, actually, is where it's filmed. We're on the top of a mountain with a, 100-foot
Oh, it was a drop.
cliff, and then just mountains.
You would not have lived.
Yeah,
No.
and then they also brought a crane with a rain machine up to the top of the mountain.
Oh, because that doesn't scare
and
horses.
a lightning
No.
machine and a trailer.
Oh, why
So-
didn't they just run a train by?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, funny story. They did
Yeah.
because as we left, we pulled out as a train was going
Oh,
through.
my
We
God.
almost got smoked by the
They
train.
did have it all.
But yeah, no, it was
How many
really
takes?
cool. I think it was about 20 something. You know,
Oh
like
my
for that
God.
amount of time, it takes a lot of takes, but
So
the
did-
horse performed on everything.
I can't
But
remember. Was there a rider or was it just the horse rearing?
It was just the horse
Did,
rearing up.
did they
And-
CGI you out? Is that?
No, actually, that's the thing about this particular take was I had to hide behind the trailer and cue the rear from behind the trailer. So I was out of sight.
That's impressive,
An
girl.
actor was hanging onto the horse. Then another actor came up and loaded the horse in the trailer. So it was a full scene that they did, and they did the whole scene every single time. It wasn't just, oh, here, rear the horse. It was start to finish every time. So it was quite a night.
Oh my God.
But our horse, she's a very special horse, and she really does take to that. She reads a room very well.
Is that one of your show horses, or?
Yeah. It's actually a barrel racing pole bending horse of mine that we call Kate, and she's.
Do you also trail ride her?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we do everything on her. There's nothing that I don't do with my horses. If I want to ride English someday, I'll put an English saddle on. I've jumped her. We do lots of liberty work, lots of trick work. Again, she rodeos, and I just take them as many places as I can. I don't make them a one-trick pony, I'm going to say. They can do many tricks.
So back to the business side. It is important to diversify is what we're talking about, right? You have to have more than one source of income if you want to be full-time in the horse world doing the kind of things that you're doing.
Yeah, I know there are some people that can just get in one area and stay there, but there are really some other factors a person always has to keep in mind. Like if you're a trainer, for example, and you could get injured quite easily, even if you're doing everything right, you could come off a horse and break an arm, and
Well,
you're going to be out of commission
Most
for
of
a
us get
while.
hurt on the ground, not on the horse, right? There's more accidents on the ground than
Oh,
just
for
dumb
sure.
stuff.
Yeah. And something else too, like as a trainer, you are going to be put in more situations where you could get injured. Like
Because
that's
they
just
don't bring you the broke quiet ones.
No. That's actually one thing that I was thinking about when you said about doing this podcast about the business side is that I've heard a lot of times people say to me, oh, it must be fun to get paid to ride horses all day. And the concept that the person has when they're saying that is they think we go trail riding on sunny days
the
and that's our
mountains.
job.
Yeah.
They think that's actually what we're paid to do. And it's not. It's not even, I won't say it's not even close, but I mean, normally it's not anything along that line.
No, you're doing the basics
Yes.
with these horses, which is a lot of work.
Yes, it is. And it's just one of those things that I think a lot of times somebody will see somebody else showing a horse and winning a ribbon and they think, well, I'd like to do that too. And that's 0.0001% of what you're going to be doing when you're in this.
Well, it's like owning a farm. A small part of what you're doing is actually riding horses. The rest of it's taking care of the farm,
Oh.
fixing fences and everything else that breaks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's true. What has been the thing that has surprised you the most about running a horse business?
That's a
I
good question.
think you actually have to be a jack of all trades. So you have to know how to do almost a bunch of random things that have nothing to do with horses. Well, you have to be able to tell people who you are by promotion.
Well, right now, marketing is the biggest thing,
Yes.
right?
And like that doesn't come, like that's not second nature to us. Like you have to learn how to do those things. Also, we had to learn how to produce a television show. So, I mean...
Give a plug for the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we have a TV show on RFD TV Canada and the Cowboy Channel Canada. And just on that note, I thought it was funny you saying about like a jack of all trades. And when we were first starting the show, we were trying to dig up somebody that could do like a little tune and then do some voiceover work. And I thought, who would have ever thought in my horse training career I had to find a jingle writer?
Yeah, there you go.
This was just not something I ever pictured was going to come up.
But yeah, that's exactly what I mean. You become a jack of all trades in a whole bunch of different things that you didn't know you would be in. So
And it's interesting, too. People think that it's easier to market, and in ways it is easier to market with social media today, but it's also harder. It's both.
a lot of competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I think before, like when I say before, maybe 10, 20 years ago, something like that, basically if you bought some advertising, you were the person in front of everybody. Where today, that's not necessarily going to do it for you because there's just so many sources of information. Somebody might be looking magazines, TV, YouTube, Facebook, all the other social media stuff. There's just so much information out there that breaking through is a little bit tricky.
And it's interesting. I wonder, when you look at the Pirellis of the world, right, who came up pre-cell phone, pre-social media, you're right. They were in the magazines, they were writing the articles, they were also had full-page ads in all the magazines, so they were more visible because there was a limited number.
Mm-hmm.
And now I wonder, are we seeing the breakouts like the Pirellis of the world? Will we see those? Or are we going to see it more spread out over more people?
Maybe
Well-
more specific niche markets within, for sure.
I don't know what we're all talking about here. Jason Bronwyn Irwin horsemanship is going to be the break.
We're a big niche market.
You know, it's funny when I consult on podcasts with podcasters, I tell them go niche because broad isn't. You cannot make as much money now doing broad as you can going to a niche that's underserved.
And one thing too is I think that now, just because there is so much access to information, I think people have to be on their game pretty darn well. So if somebody goes
all
out
the
and
time.
yeah, all the time, exactly. So if somebody's strong in one area but then weak in another, that's going to make life pretty hard for you. You're going to have a hard time, I think, getting to the top or staying there. And where before, again, I don't want to make it sound like it was easy before because I don't think it was. And but I think once a person got a certain amount of momentum, I think before it would kind of carry you. Where today, I think you need to be trying every day.
We weren't planning on talking about this, but it's so interesting. You didn't have the naysayers before either because you wrote the article, you had the ad. Nobody was commenting on the ad underneath in the magazine, right?
Yep.
So you didn't have those negative people coming at you all the time like we do now. You know, no matter what we say, there's always those people out there. And for some reason, and I am a horse husband, I married this, for some reason, horse women especially are very opinionated about how they feel about things.
Hey.
I was at the airport. You'll laugh at this. I was at the airport yesterday morning, Gainesville Airport near Ocala. And it's 4 gates, and there's one plane takes off at a time. So there's all of us sitting around heading to Charlotte. And it's just, I overheard everybody on their phone, and I could pick out the 2 horse girls. When they walked in, I said, that's a horse girl, that's an English, that's a Western. And sure enough, I heard them on the phone, and they're the most opinionated people in that whole place. We're the horse girls.
Yeah, you're getting me on a subject I can't comment on. I'm sitting here mute in the corner.
Horse guys tend to be opinionated
Horse women
too.
have learned to become strong, independent women
And
because they're chasing their goals.
And I'm not
what I
saying
have
that's
to
a bad
say.
thing. That's true.
No, I'm
and actually,
just saying
that is
that's
true.
why.
That is
Yeah.
true. I mean, look, I have hosts. They're all strong, independent women,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I think some of that too is, and it's really the same thing as what you guys are already saying, but a person has to have a certain amount of gumption to really be in this.
Well,
if you're
true.
just sort of the person that is in the back corner and doesn't really have anything to say, usually horses aren't really your thing as much.
Right.
And so I think there is a lot of that in this industry.
yeah,
for
you
sure.
have to have a certain amount of guts, and you know.
You have to be able to get things done.
Yeah.
Really. And
Yeah.
you have to be able to get them done creatively or on a whim. And with your, if a woman versus a man, sometimes men are stronger. Like, I have to do things a little differently sometimes around the farm than Jason. I have to be more creative.
We all admit you're smarter, though. So
yeah,
we're
probably stronger.
Not
too.
arguing.
Let's have an arm wrestle.
we're not arguing that at all.
Yeah, touche.
So if my listeners love Heartland, so I have to ask if you ever had any horses on Heartland because they'll be mad if I don't.
No, we've never had a horse on Heartland.
But we did an expo a couple weeks ago where we did actually meet Graham Wardell and Carey as well. So Caleb and Ty.
Okay, I have to ask, were they nice?
Oh, absolutely. Very nice people.
We've had a lot of them on our shows over the years, and they've all been great guests and very humble, and
Yeah.
Well, that's a show that started off. Nobody knew it was going to go the way it did. I mean, it was just going to be this little show about horses, and who knew it would go mainstream, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think something, though, is people don't realize the demand for that type of thing. Now, obviously, Heartland went over really well, but when you look at a lot of the horse movies that have been made, people are still watching Seabiscuit, and it's, 20 years old probably by now.
Still one of my favorite horse movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and people know the Black Stallion, and I don't know how old that is, but that's been quite some time, Man from Snowy River. When they make a good horse movie, it goes over well and it stays around for a really, really long time. And I think sometimes I feel a little disappointed when they make one and make it a little bit silly or cheesy because
But
if you just
it's
made it
all
a little bit more for
it's
real.
all Frisians, and they all have fake whinnies.
Yeah. There's always the guy walks up to the Black Stallion that
Yeah.
instantly becomes friends with him and that type
We
of thing.
have a formula for horse movies. It's the girl, young teenage girl, threatening to lose the farm. Parents are going to have to move away, sell the horse, and then this handsome guy has to come in and save the farm. And she wins a competition without any practice and wins $10 million, and
Yeah.
the farm's saved. That's every horse movie ever made.
Yeah.
You really did hit the nail on the head. That was close.
I think that the horse movies and horse shows really do inspire dreamers. And I think people with horses typically have very big dreams because they are a big, majestic animal. And we all started out with them in our heart to be this far into them.
I say in the podcast world that you come for the content. You search for something golf tennis, horses, whatever you're into. But you stay for the host. It's the same with TV shows. People stayed with Heartland because the characters were engaging, and you either liked or hated them. But either way, you're going to stay, right?
Yeah.
You have to have both, actually. You have to have that person you love and you really care about. And the TV shows that don't make it are the ones where you don't care. You don't care whether the people live or die, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's that's what makes Heartland a winning show is they developed characters that were real, that felt real.
And showed problem horses,
Yeah.
and that's a big part of the industry too, just having little problems and training through them. So
Lisa Wysocki is a co-host. She's a good friend of ours and a co-host. She's written a lot of horse books, and I'm happy to let you know that a major studio has picked up her horse books.
Okay.
So they're going to be doing a TV series. They're trying to make it the Heartland for the United States. They're actually filming it in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that's going to be coming out in the next couple, how long it takes. It takes forever. But there's going to be another series coming out, and she's consulting on the horse part, and there will be no fake Winnies. She's guaranteed me.
good.
Well, one thing I thought was funny, you mentioning Heartland, a lot of times because Bronwyn and I, we are a couple in the horse industry, and people would say, oh, you guys are just like Heartland. And it's like, well, they do tend to show the rosy colored end of things. And then I thought it was funny because a few years ago, then people start saying, you guys are just like Yellowstone. And it's like, well, we don't exactly shoot our
I
neighbors.
was just going to say, have
like
you
that.
shot anybody on your property
No,
lately?
I was like, we're kind of in the middle of the two. I don't think we really fit either one.
People watching Yellowstone must think that everybody that owns a ranch is just killing people randomly.
Oh, and then it's okay.
Nobody gets punished or anything.
You can shoot your neighbor and still be a good guy.
It's still like the Wild West. Yeah.
Nobody will be pulling in to ask for directions at a ranch anymore.
And oh, by the way, that motorcycle gang is coming down and coming back and burning your house down and killing everybody in it. So they just went away, the motorcycle gang.
Yeah, I don't know that I would want to be like that, but I will admit it would be a little more exciting.
Yeah. It beats fixing fence every day.
Yeah.
Well, it's been fun having you. We got talking about things I never thought we'd talk about, but that's what I love about you guys. What's the website?
www.thehorsetrainers.com.
And is your clinic schedule on there for this year?
Yep, and we're still adding some more clinics to it.
All right, very good. And what will they see at your clinic?
Almost everything here this weekend. 4 days. Bronwyn did 2 clinics today on pole bending, and then
that's fun.
They went over well. The crowd was really good.
Well, that's something everybody can try to do.
I know.
Yep.
Honestly, I always say, even if you're not a pole bender, do something like pole bending or barrel racing because it works on your horsemanship and uncovers little problems and issues that you may never have. They might have not popped up before.
One, you don't have to spend a fortune to do it.
Exactly.
Right.
You need 6 poles or buckets.
Or fence
cones.
posts or something. Yeah.
Or I'll say Canadian pylons, but nobody knows what
I
that
have no
is.
idea what that is.
They're cones.
Okay. All right. But that is true. Yeah. And you're doing?
I'm doing some clinics on Saturday and Sunday, and basically like foundation horsemanship and some problem-solving clinics. And then we're doing one on youth riders and stuff like that. But then our regular clinic schedule just varies all over the map. We're doing some other horse expos. There's trailer loading clinics. There's cold starting clinics. There's, Liberty training clinics. We just really cover a pretty broad area.
All right, good. Website again?
www.thehorsetrainers.com.
Well, next up, we have Ava. Yay! Now, Ava, you were here for Ava, weren't you?
I was here for Ava.
Yeah, she stopped by after we recorded the other day, and she said, "I'm a pony clubber, and I want to be on the show." And we had a lovely chat with Ava.
She was fantastic.
Well, my wife was a pony clubber. I don't know if you knew that, Allison. She was a pony clubber. That's a little while ago. It was a few years ago.
Yeah.
But pony club's been around a long time.
It has.
And we had a lot of pony clubbers come through our barn, and she believes in pony club, for the basics and the fundamentals. She's just a true believer, and I am too. And we have a pony clubber here with us. I'm so excited. We have Ava. She's from Hunters Run Pony Club here in Ohio, right?
Yes.
And how old are you?
I'm 12.
12? Okay. You were brave. Did they send you over here and say you're going to do this, or did you volunteer?
They just kind of sent me over.
They did? Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were brave enough to go, okay, I'm going to take this mission and I'm going to see it to completion.
Yeah.
Well, you know why? Because she's an eventer, and eventers are tough, and they'll do anything. So why
That's
eventing?
true.
I just love the thrill of eventing. I mean, dressage, I understand how important it is for the fundamentals, but to me, it's not the excitement, but I do understand how important it is in the basics of it.
She was required to say that, and now she's going to talk about the fun part, which is
Yes.
cross country.
Show jumping, the show jumping part of it is fun. The current horse I'm on really enjoys show jumping. But I definitely prefer cross country because it's very much fun.
Tell us about your pony.
So the horse I'm on currently it was my mom's horse, who she rescued from Last Chance Gal, who was an orphan, and she's a thoroughbred, we think.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Mostly.
She's a mare, so we call it a snake dragon because she has a lot of expressions with herself, and she kind of moves her body around. She celebrates after all her jumps, but she loves stadium.
How is that to ride?
It's actually pretty fun once you get used to it. She loves stadium. She technically could be a really good jumper because she loves tight turns and big jumps. She can be a little bit spooky on cross country, but she's not. She's a good horse. She's a school master. Like, if she's gonna stop, she tells you 10 feet out because she's like, it's too scary.
And what
I don't
color?
wanna do
What
it.
color is she?
She's flea bitten gray.
Yeah, oh,
Okay.
of course.
And
But she sounds like she's a red mare inside, though. Like,
Yeah.
she's a chestnut mare inside with that attitude.
Maybe. We've known some grumpy and sassy gray mares.
Yeah.
So, what do you like about Pony Club?
Pony Club, the environment's just really good. It gives you really good knowledge, and the friendships are great. Like, at school, I don't meet as many people, but I hang
Because you're
out.
the crazy horse girl?
Yeah. But I typically hang out with even girls who are like in high school and going to college. Like, it just seems more normal, even just because we have something like really in common, and the friendships are just really good with it.
Well, I think that's why pony clubbers stay, is because of that. You know,
Yeah.
you make lifelong friends because of it. And you might end up working with some of them in the future too with horses.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So do you want to keep going up through the ranks at eventing? Is that your goal?
Yes, my
Yeah.
dream's in a 5-star venture because
Yeah.
I go to Land
You and
Rover
Boyd
every
Martin
year.
in there riding it side by side? Is that what your hope is?
Yeah.
So you also have done some other things. You said you went fox hunting. My wife's a big fox hunter, so she loved that you did that.
Yeah. We don't do a bunch of fox hunting, but we do some with Rocky Fork Headley Hunt, and so normally we go like second field because like we aren't like crazy.
You're not crazy and you're an eventer?
Well, sometimes our horses get kind of worked up,
Right.
but it's really fun, and the environment's still very good.
Mm-hmm.
We know some people like who are kind of higher, like up in the hunt. Like, we're good friends with the hunt, and that hunt holds like the Hunter Pace series we do. So we got to know them really well. So it's really fun.
Is there anything else you'd like to try in the horse world, or any other disciplines, or?
Well, since I have 6 horses, with our retired horse, I mean, I've always like kind of dreamed of like getting her like, cause I've evented a lot of them, but I've always kind of dreamed like to get her to like do some reining or something just for fun. But I don't know.
I can see her wanting to try barrel racing. Is
With
what I can see.
Yeah.
and then with my semi-retired pony, I feel like she would be kind of a cool dressage pony. She's got really cool stuff. So I just like not as into it as eventing though. Eventing just kind of takes all I want. Like, I really do want eventing.
What's the website for the Pony Club? You guys have your own?
I believe we might, but I know there's the National Pony Club. It's just USPC.
Thanks, Ava. We appreciate you stopping by.
Welcome.
And good luck. And our final guest, which seems like we've done 30 guests
Yeah.
over the last 3 days. Well, it's had to have been 15 to 20.
A ton.
So our final guest, we started out with an auditor on day 1, and we're going to end with an auditor. She also helped organize the get-together we had the other night. Her name is Carey Miller. Well, Carey is our last guest, I think, of about 50 that we've had over the last couple of days. And Carey, first, I want to thank you for the gifts that dinner the other night. That was fantastic.
You're very welcome. It was our pleasure.
My Hackney shirt.
I know.
Love my Hackney shirt.
That was the best.
Yeah, it is. I'll wear that everywhere.
I noticed.
I'm gonna have to wear that on the scooter and show my Hackney shirt for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys are fantastic. You organized the meetup and everything. You live locally here, right?
Yeah, I live just west of Columbus. It's about a 45 minutes to an hour drive down here. Yeah.
Is it a real horsey area?
Where I live?
Yeah.
No, but I've made it horsey. I live just west of Marysville, and there's it's a little hilly up in that area. So we kind of had, when I built my arena, I had to build it into the hill. And
it's interesting because there's lots of parts of Ohio that are very flat.
Yeah.
And then you get the hills, right?
You get the hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was surprised at that when we drove across Ohio on a road trip. That I wasn't expecting the flat like that.
It's like flat like Kansas in some areas, and then not quite Colorado.
So what do you have horse-wise?
I own a quarter horse. He was my first horse to own. Then I bought a thoroughbred for my daughter, who shortly thereafter decided she didn't want to ride anymore. So I'm stuck with a broke thoroughbred. And
Do you ride the thoroughbred at all?
Can't ride her anymore. She is completely lame.
Oh, she's broke.
Yeah,
Really broke.
Really broke.
Okay, got it.
And I have an Arabian that I just purchased about a year and a half ago.
Are you doing endurance or what?
No. He failed at endurance, but he loves to jump, and he loves to event, and he loves to dressage.
Are you an eventer?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I try. I'm not very good at it, but I try.
Well, that's great.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah, I didn't know you were an inventor. Is eventing big here in Ohio?
There's not very many areas to do it. We actually belong to a boarding barn that is starting a new series this summer, so we can event.
So they're going to have lower level events?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the green is grass.
Yeah.
That's me.
That's you.
Yeah.
Where the jumps are about the size of my water bottle.
Yep, pretty much. We can trip over them more than we jump them.
That's right. Got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
All those people at the 5-star in a week or two are started jumping size of my water bottle.
I can't wait to see it. It's just awesome.
Are you going?
Oh, yeah. It's Land Rover. Yeah. Julie and I are tailgating.
Are you?
Your first host.
You got a tailgate spot?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, that'll be fun. Now I'm bummed I'm not going. I could have gone get food off of you guys.
I'm telling you. It would have been a party.
Jamie and I have been known to walk around there and just say hi to people, hoping they would invite us in for food.
We're definitely having food.
Well, let's hope the weather cooperates this year.
And maybe a drink.
Yeah, or two.
Or two.
Let's hope the weather cooperates this year.
Yes.
And it'd be like it was this week here in
Oh my
Ohio.
gosh, wouldn't it be nice?
It's crazy warm.
Last year was amazing. So we're hoping for that weather.
Very good. Well, I'm
Yeah.
excited you're getting to go.
I am too.
And
Yeah.
we'll be back probably next year. We just had a lot of other stuff this year. So,
You had a life?
life.
Yeah.
There's a life outside of horses occasionally.
Is there?
Well, not for Jamie, but for Jennifer and I. We try.
There are?
We try and have a life outside of horses.
Yeah.
It doesn't work very well a lot.
No.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Yes.
And congratulations. She told us the other day that she's in sales and she made her biggest sales ever. So congratulations on that.
Oh, stop. Thank you. That's so
I
fun.
had to embarrass you with
Thank
that.
you so much. I'm bright red now.
Yeah.
I only told you because you were in sales once.
I know. I appreciate it. I'm thanking you on the air.
Yeah.
Or I'm congratulating you on the air because
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thanks, Allison, for having me and
Thank
for putting up with me all these 3 days.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me and for letting me join your world. I love your listeners. I think they're awesome, and hopefully they tolerate me pretty well. And I'm just super thankful to be here and
what
get
I
to
like
join
about
you.
having you on is you bring guests that we wouldn't normally have.
Well,
you bring
good.
a different view, because your
Yeah.
guests are such a variety of guests.
Yeah.
You're not focused in on any one thing.
Nope. I
So-
don't want to be focusing on one thing. I want to spread it
and we
around.
sure haven't focused on one thing the last 3 days. If you
Nope.
missed the previous couple episodes, take a listen to those.
Yeah.
Jamie will be back tomorrow with Lisa Wysocki, I think. Lisa was sick too, so I don't know
Aw.
if she's going to be there or not. But so she should. So Jamie and Lisa should be there tomorrow.
Yep.
And then I'm flying home, and then I'll be back on Wednesday.
And hopefully feeling better.
Not so stuffy.
And
Sorry about
sounding
my
better.
voice. All right. Thanks, Allison.
Thanks, Glenn.
All right. Have a good weekend, everybody.